to a tipsy Tuesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, the drumroll please, Captain Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's
Captain Cool!
Someone lose a grenade?
Oh yeah! Make sure you guys find us on the line at theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at The Blitz Sports Radio, and on Twitter at @TheBlitz_sports, where we post behind the scenes, we post updates, we post polls, we post everything you guys would want and more, so make sure you're following us there, and you can follow us on Twitch and YouTube as well at WZZN TV for more than just sports talk. You can see me, you can see the Bandi, you can see the Chad, you can see probably the Tom today, so if you guys hop on while you get home, okay, he'll probably be in around the second hour. He'll come in out of nowhere, drop off a little bit of mail, and then get out of here because, you know, that's just what he's got to get out of here as soon as possible. I mean, that's just how it is. But, yeah, I mean, WZZN TV is the way to go if you guys are not driving in your vehicle, because if you want to have two buddies just hanging out inside of your I don't know, house, your rental, your dorm, whatever you have, okay, your RV, you can have me and Bandi Man during the afternoon blitz to keep you guys company. And this first hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you have any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online, Chad, and fill out your free quote today. That's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. You guys can remember that these guys always show up. And if you want to hop in on the show yourself, 256-576-4977 is the number to call in. And if you're not all about calling and talking on the radio, why not send us a little chat in the chat box on Twitch and YouTube, and we will get a hold of that as soon as possible. I know Bandy's got his eyeballs on it, okay? He's ready for it, okay? Clear eyes, clear glasses, he's ready, okay? Bandi, you ready? He's not queued up yet because I haven't even announced him. Yeah, you're live hanging with the Chillers crew of 2 in Sports Radio in the booth. Spinning the tracks, keeping us on the airways, the guy with the banner behind him, one Mr. Bandi Man, Billy Larry.
What is going on?
Oh, you know, it's another day in paradise. We're living life. It's arm day today. I can't be more excited. There's nothing I can complain about. That's all I'm saying, Bandi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I saw. I'm looking forward to who we have on in the second hour, coming on at 3 o'clock. One, Mr. James Benedetto to talk some Alabama basketball.
Oh yeah.
And we just had a major story drop with that.
Oh?
Today.
What we got?
Did you not see the Nate Oates, Brandon Miller thing that he said?
When did this happen?
We can bring it up during the cool segment during the day. I'll inform
Okay.
you a little more about it during the break.
Okay, that's totally fine. I need to know a little bit about this. Okay, I've been looking through the news networks all over the place, getting the stories, but I didn't hear about any of that.
Well, it did drop roughly about an hour ago.
Okay, well, I was finishing up the stories that I had, okay? Any other stories after that point, we talk about in the show, okay, because we just got it, all right? But we got a lot of fun to get into today. We got some fires, some hires. We got some interesting players coming back into the NBA, as well as interesting players not coming back to the NBA this season, at least. And then we got a little bit of conference news. Conferences are getting adjusted slightly in the college world, and we're going to let you guys in on all the information on that stuff. But Bandi, I got a question for you, brother.
Well, I skipped the last one. Yesterday. So what do you got for me today?
Well, so if you could have only one condiment for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Oh, easy. Ketchup.
Ketchup?
100%.
Ketchup. So you're telling me if you got a packet of ketchup, if I told you could, I know this is a totally different question on top of that question, but if you could eat a whole thing of ketchup in one go, would you do that?
No.
You wouldn't be able to.
No.
Is there any condiment that you would be able to do that with?
No.
What did you say?
Mustard.
Must? Okay.
Yeah, fair. Oh,
Ew.
okay, while you're running?
Oh, mustard, man. That's my least favorite condiment. I couldn't do that. You couldn't pay me money to do that. You say, though, out of all of the amazing condiments, you're going to go with one of the basics? Old-fashioned ketchup.
Yeah, because it goes on. It can pretty much go on everything.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, if I was going to choose one, at the end of the day, I don't know. Okay, with ketchup, I like ketchup. I think it tastes good on, like, you know, some hot dogs and all that stuff, sometimes on hamburgers. But at the end of the day, I mean, just too much of it kind of makes me ugh, you know, because I back in high school I used to be a little joker, all right? I used to be a little jokester. So I put a bunch of ketchup packets in my mouth and I just clomped on them. I clonched them, and they went everywhere and also into my throat, and instantly just could not deal with it. Then I looked to my left and a girl was covered in ketchup and I felt terrible. So that's when I stopped being the goofy ketchup guy that I always was. But if I was gonna go with one, I would either have to say barbecue sauce or ranch. I really started liking ranch last year. Yeah,
Okay.
got into ranch. The chicken nuggies in the ranch, so good.
You can't really have wings with ketchup either.
You can't, yeah. Think about that. So okay, so now that you're thinking about it a little bit, there's ranch, there's honey mustard. Oh my gosh, honey mustard's good. Zach, any of the Zach sauces?
See, I'm not the biggest fan of honey mustard.
No.
No, I just never liked any kind of mustard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there with you. I don't like mustard in the first place. Like standalone mustard, if you tried to offer me that for money, I would turn and push. Okay, he's okay. Whoa, okay, he's got it. Chad's got the mustard.
I'm glad his hands are covering the packet so I can't see this.
Oh, he just downed it on stream. That is why you guys need to be on here. Clip that, please. I don't know of too many people who could down a mustard packet like that, but give him a clap. Give him a clap roll there, okay? Good stuff, guys. Call in. Tell us what your favorite condiment would be if you could only have one for the rest of your life. But, Bandi, I think it's time to get into the news. Because
I think I'm putting that at the top of my list of things I did not need to see today.
it wasn't I mean, watching it happen doesn't give me the chills, but knowing, like, that it tastes... the taste... I mean, see,
Feeling any regret?
he's got Hulk strength.
That's kind of like regret.
Bandi, turn yourself up just a little bit, okay? I'm not getting you too much over here. You're a little low. But let's get into some of the fun stuff, okay? Because today is February 21st, 2023, and here's what you need to know in the Blitz today. Myers Leonard is on his way back into the NBA after pretty much being blacklisted since 2021 for an anti-Semitic comment made on a stream while he was playing video games. Now, look, okay? If you're not too confident in your vocabulary and what you can say, you know, if you can't censor yourself on the fly like me and the Bandi Man can, well, less me and more of the Bandi Man, then you probably don't want to be streaming games that'll cause you to have a reaction that just comes out, okay?
See, that's why I can't stream fighting games.
Exactly.
Because like I get incredibly competitive, so like yeah, I'll get mad at it. Fighting games are probably the one that rile me up the most.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it's like if you play 2K, I mean, you're getting riled up. It's a basketball game. It's going against somebody. Call of Duty's similar to that, okay?
God forbid you're a League of Legends streamer. I am praying for you.
Jeez, you're just yelling straight up all the words in the book, but definitely stay away from the anti-Semitic stuff, please, okay?
Like,
But yeah,
Could you imagine being mad at a video game,
I know, right?
but you gotta stay in that same match for probably like bare minimum half an hour?
Oh, I know. There's such long matches.
Yeah, at least in fighting games, you're in and out within like maybe 10-ish minutes, maybe.
Even
like,
less if you don't want to be in it. you just get destroyed.
Even less, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
Half an hour.
that's a long time. No, I used to see my buddy play some of those games, and no, I could not. I don't have the attention span nor the want to really play a game like that for half an hour, just single on its own. But we've seen this type of stuff happen from YouTubers, okay, just out of nowhere. They just throw these words out there, as well as NASCAR drivers. We saw that only
NASCAR
like
drivers.
last year, like 2 years ago.
I didn't hear about this. Story.
Yeah, during the COVID, we had one NASCAR driver yell out a word that you're not supposed to say, okay? You're definitely not supposed to say, and he said it on stream, and that led to him being kind of kicked out of the NASCAR world, and then he got back. So
Was that like the? Oh wait a minute. Was that during the like the virtual?
he was doing the e-racing was going on.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that story.
Yeah. It was a pretty hard video to watch. I'll say that. Anytime that this happens, okay, watching PewDiePie whenever he said whatever he said on stream playing PUBG. Whenever this stuff happens, it's almost as bad as watching a video of like somebody getting, hit by a car or something. It's just what you like irk your teeth. You're just like, oh, this guy's career is probably over. Okay.
It's like you can just kind of visually see it go down the toilet.
I know, and it's so tough to experience, but I know it's tougher for the people on that side and also on the opposite side of that, the words that people are using. But Either way, nobody is safe from your ignorance. I will say that. But either way, reports say that Leonard will be joining the Milwaukee Bucks on a measly 10-day contract. So we're going to find some capital in him in the first place to see where he can go moving forward, okay? And then to anyone holding their breath for Lonzo Ball's return, rip. You'd probably be dead already, but I mean, seriously, okay? You guys have been waiting since January of 2022. He's been out for over a year. Okay.
He's been out for a while.
And he's not coming out. He's not coming back anytime soon because we figured out that the Chicago Bulls have officially shut down any sight of return for the former second-round pick until sometime next season. Lonzo Ball has suffered several setbacks in what's been a lengthy recovery process from a measly tear, or a meniscus tear in his left knee, and after first undergoing. There's a lot of words in this that I'm just like, this is more Bandy's vocabulary, but undergoing arthroscopic surgery to address what at the time was called a small meniscus tear in January 2022. Ball never returned last season following the injury and had an additional surgery 8 months later in September for the same meniscus tear, and now he is where he is now. He's still feeling uncomfortable whenever he's playing on that knee, and he's not going to be back anytime soon. So you guys can finally breathe, okay? Don't worry. He will be back, and when he is, the Bulls will be a lot more fun to watch. I could promise you that much, okay? And then 6 new teams are officially heading to the American Atlantic Conference come July 1st. See, we don't only cover the SEC and the Big 12, okay? We can throw out some small conferences as well, but even with a 12-team conference, they will stick with a single division format where teams play 8 conference games, similar to how the SEC has been doing it. The new teams coming are Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, North Texas, Rice, UAB, and UTSA. A large amount coming from the Conference USA. It's going to be interesting to see how the Conference USA is able to kind of fix up this type of stuff. I mean, I see these conferences move a lot, and obviously we see some smaller schools come into, big-time football, some good old NCAA football, but it's weird. It comes to a point where you kind of run out of teams. Who are you going to put in what conference, and who are you going to take out of conferences? Who are we going to put down to the second level and all that type of stuff?
On top of that, it'll be interesting to see how well the AAC members going on to the Big 12 are going to perform next year too. I mean, because they're all taking the place of Cincinnati, Houston, UCF.
All those teams that are going to the Big 12.
Those are the only ones, right? Just those 3?
I think there was one more. But I can't name it off the top of my head. But I honestly think these teams will be fine, okay? UTSA, especially them, okay? Because they were just a high-powered team. We saw what they could do against a team like Army, which is a bunch of big men when, that all went down. But then there's teams like Charlotte. I don't know about that, okay? Charlotte's going to have a little bit of a tough time. They were having a tough time in the Conference USA. They were placed last year. And now they're moving on to see if they could probably do something in the American Atlantic, which is a little bit difficult of a task, I will say.
A little bit difficult.
Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest, but Florida Atlantic should be fine. They'll slowly adjust. North Texas will be fine. Rice will be fine. And UAB will, do what UAB does.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might be underselling Rice a little bit.
What do you mean?
You forget who transferred there?
Dude, I know.
JT Daniels?
Trust me, I know. Rice has already been, they've already been a decent team, okay? Now they're going to be a little bit more decent, but, JT Daniels, again.
About to be a first ballot Rice Hall of Famer?
4th team. This is his 4th team he's going to be on in the last 4 seasons. So, yes, he's a good quarterback, but now he's got to learn a completely new offense yet again, okay? Nothing he's not used to, but still, this probably is what's holding him back from being one of the better quarterbacks in the country. Because he's a good guy, he's a good player. Okay, he plays some good football, plays some good ball, but having to switch up offensive coordinators every single week, not always the best. Okay, that's not always what you want to do. And then the college football world may look a little bit different in upcoming seasons in relation to limiting exposure to injuries during games. Now, if you don't know what they're doing, let me give you the lowdown real quick. Last season, an anonymous official volunteered to see how much letting the clock run after first downs would be outside of the last 2 minutes and a half. This means, if you guys know, okay, college football differs from the NFL in multiple ways, okay? Obviously, the 1 foot in rule in the college football, you only need 1 foot in when you're catching a football. And then another one of those rules is whenever you get a first down, the clock stops until the ball is ready to snap, okay? So this anonymous official went in, and he was up in the press box. He was checking all of this stuff down. He wanted to see how fast the game could go by without this type of stuff and how many less plays would be coming on from these offenses. And it turned out to be not that much, okay? So it's all in an effort to kind of minimize the exposure that these players have to be on the football field in the first place. It's not going to shorten the game that much. I'll say that much, okay? But it's going to take away probably around, this was the average, 7 plays from each team, okay? So maybe 14 plays overall from both teams, but still, that's not that much. I mean, if it could prevent injuries, which, whatever, but if it could prevent injuries, then totally. And personally, I think some football games could stretch on a little bit past their time. They probably shouldn't, but I think this is a good idea. Yeah. Some of them don't need to go on that long, okay? Alabama's played so many games that they've just absolutely mollywopped the team, and it does not need to go on as long.
Especially some of those West Coast schools.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that started 9 o'clock our time.
Yeah. Yeah. I want the games to be fun and quick, all right? We have a lot of fun doing the Buckhorn games, and you know what? They don't last that long either. They're only on court for around 35 minutes, okay? 8-minute quarters, okay, and that's 32, and then you add on a little bit extra unless there's a running clock, okay? You add on the fouls and all that stuff when the clock stops, but still, roughly around 40 minutes of us just watching some basketball go down, all nonstop action, and that's what I would be fine with watching with some NCAA football. But we get to see some officials, or we get to see the NCAA Rules Committee meet next week in Indianapolis to kind of find out what type of rules they want to figure out, as well as other rules as well. What do you got, Bandi?
I'll throw one out.
What do you want?
We don't need 4 media timeouts every half.
Yeah, we don't need those.
How about 3?
Yeah, just 3.
Throw it down to 15, 10, 5.
I don't think they're going to care about that. They want the money.
Yeah,
that's a different thing, okay? That's a different thing.
We don't need 4 media timeouts. That would speed the game up a little bit.
No, yeah, I mean, it definitely would. I mean, there's probably plenty more they could do to maybe speed the game up when it comes to just, hey, how about no advertising at all? Just take it all out.
No advertising.
0 advertising. Just let the guys continue to play like it's soccer or something like that, which I'm watching right now. What is this, Liverpool versus Romania or something like that?
Liverpool versus Romania.
Who is it? It's LIV versus RMA.
RMA?
Yeah. That's got to be Romania.
That's definitely not Romania.
Who would it be? Ramatra.
That's Real Madrid.
Oh, okay. There you go. What do I know, you two soccer nerds?
I couldn't even see my jersey.
You got you, man.
Yeah, he is right about the abbreviation.
Huh,
You're
okay.
talking about Romania.
Yeah. What, it couldn't be Romania? Does Romania even exist anymore? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Get the Chad talking. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. So there's a bunch of different soccer things. Okay. That's what I got out of that. It's straight over my head. Bandi, what do you got going on in the play-by-play with the Bandi Man today?
Well, we've got some huge news concerning Microsoft. Not only are they very confident in the Activision Blizzard acquisition.
Sweet.
But they've signed 2
2?
10-year deals today.
Really?
One with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo consoles for the next 10 years.
Sweet.
Day 1 it drops on Xbox. As well as partnering with Nvidia for another 10 years to put games that are compatible with their drivers and game-ready drivers onto their cloud gaming service.
Okay.
And guess what? Nvidia is a competitor.
Wow. They just want everybody to have fun playing video games, Bandi.
Yeah, they're just hard reinstating that message and just every step they take, making it harder for Sony to build a case for them or a case against them.
Yeah.
As to why Microsoft Activision would be a bad thing.
You still got those dookie heads, though, that think that, oh, this is going to ruin it. It's going to be a monopoly and stuff like that. I'm just like, come on.
No.
It's just video games.
And guess what? Even with all of this, PlayStation still outsold Xbox last year.
Even
by over 20%.
See, guys, Just ain't no reason to even stress about it. Just give it, hey, let Phil Spencer and the rest of the crew just kind of take care of it, all right? Don't worry about it.
Not to mention, y'all got a PlayStation State of Play on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's going to be showcasing VR titles.
Big stuff coming out with PlayStation as well, but we're not going to worry about that right now because we're going to hop into a break. When we come back, we'll be doing the Cool segment with the Captain Cool, and then later on in the show, one Mr. James Benedetto is going to hop on with us to talk a little bit of college basketball as Alabama mollywopped Georgia Bulldogs basketball, and we can maybe dabble into some football as well. That's all coming up here on the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seed, managing partner of University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Crimson Tide football. Stop in the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com for all our great offers. And get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today. Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to to a Tipsy Tuesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Billy Larry. Oh, I didn't hear you at all that time.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Hey,
I can hear
it
you
is.
crisp now, Bandi.
There
Thank
it
you.
is.
Thank you, Chad, for helping out as well with that. Because I brought it up, and you know what? It got fixed. That's just the beautiful thing of having you guys in there. Jeez, great stuff. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at the Blitz_sports and on Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV. And if you're in your car right now, don't touch your phone, okay? We don't want you to get distracted, but whenever you do come to a stop, why not whip out the phone, go on the App Store, and get the Blitz Sports Radio app on Apple and Android devices, as well as the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, because we will have UNA baseball going up against Auburn baseball at Toyota Field here in Huntsville, which is going to be extremely exciting, but I am not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm going to go to the Alabama MTSU game that will be at Toyota Field, but I'm not working this one, all right? I said I need a little bit more time to focus on the station, focus on the craft. And you know what? My guy was just like, I totally respect it. Just come in whenever, because you know what? You're the best one we got. I was like, he didn't actually say that, but I do have a Spider-Man costume, so that's why they want me back so bad. But it's all good. It's all good. But we will have some UNA baseball going on today. Whenever what time is it going to be? At 6 p.m. So we'll definitely tune into that over on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And Bandi, we got a little bit of interesting stuff to talk about. Okay, there's a little bit of drama going down in Alabama basketball, which we'll get into a lot more later with James Benedetto, as well as some coaching flip-flops going on in the Cleveland Browns organization, as well as some free agents that we got to figure out where they're going to go. And Bandi, that's all coming up here on the Cool segment. Ba-boom. It's not really cool of me to do, but
It's getting hot in here.
That's
a
spicy meatball.
spicy meatball.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
You know what cool Bandi, what the hell's going on in Alabama?
Oh, a lot as of the last hour.
Okay, I need you to get me in on this information, because you told me a little bit, but now we kind of need to figure out what's going on.
So do you remember? Excuse me. Do you remember the Darius Miles and Brandon Miller case from January?
For sure.
Well, we've got new details that came out about that really about an hour ago.
Okay.
New police testimony is saying that Brandon Miller brought the gun in the Darius Miles capital murder shooting, and this is from a text message exchange
That they found?
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, this is part of the details that came out that don't, bring the heat.
Bring the heat.
Yeah, bring the gun.
Did we have,
No, he can't. Now, they also did say he hasn't been charged with anything.
Okay.
Because, they couldn't tie him with anything
Yeah.
regarding the actual murder trial.
I want to know what he actually texted to him. If we have those at all anywhere online, that'd be great to see. Because, first off, bringing the heat could mean anything, okay?
Well, I was paraphrasing.
but if he did,
I'm checking the.
You check that. But I mean, this is an interesting case right here, okay? Because I know that a lot went on. Obviously, Darius Miles did what he did, and that was a tragic event that went on. But having to tie in some of the other Alabama players, especially Brandon Miller, one of the best, if not the best player on that team, will be crazy to see. Bandi, what do we got over there?
He said when Miller got to the scene, Miles told Davis the heat is in the hat.
The heat is in the hat.
Yeah, that means the gun was present.
Yeah, it was in the hat. What hat? Was there a hat involved now?
I don't know.
Maybe that was how they kind of hit it. But okay, so we're learning that Brandon Miller brought the gun, and he said that the heat is in the hat. All right? Maybe he meant the hatch or something like that, the hatchback or something. I don't know. Okay. What more details do we have on this, Bandi? Was it whose car was being driven at the time of this this whole situation that went down?
I'm looking for the time, but it looks like it was Brandon Miller's car did get struck twice by gunfire in the shooting.
Wow.
And that police also testified another Alabama basketball player, Jaden Bradley, was also at the scene of the shooting.
What the heck is going on in Tuscaloosa?
When asked by AL.com why Miller was not charged, Tuscaloosa Chief Deputy D.A. Paula Whitley said, "That's not a question I can answer. There's nothing we could charge him with according to the law."
Well, Okay, so it's a hypothetical right here, okay? I brought this up during the break. If I brought a buddy a gun, and I know, like, this is a totally different thing because I don't know the intents that happened with these basketball players right now, but if I brought a buddy a gun because he wanted to go to a shooting range or something like that, and he ended up killing somebody with that gun, what would happen to me? Because that is the gun that I owned, and I brought it to him with not ill intent, but he did end up killing somebody. So this is when we need to get a lawyer in here because we need him to figure out, would I be guilty for assisting in this crime, okay? And Chad, if you want to hop in on this as well, because you could bring a different light to this whole thing, you can, because we need all types of sides from this, because maybe 3 of us can equal up to maybe half of a lawyer, all right? I don't know if I would get charged for it.
3 of us can equal up to half of a suit's character.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. But it's so strange because if at the end of the day, right, what it sounds like, and I don't want to get into it too much because, I don't want to say anybody who's convicted of doing anything on purpose or anything, but I don't know. It seems like we need more information to find out what it all goes down to being, okay? Chad's going to hop in with us because he'll definitely bring some light in this one.
The resident lawyer in here.
Okay, resident lawyer.
I just play one on a TV show. So
man's looking like a lawyer. Okay, Chad, what is the whole thing? Okay, what do you have to throw into this conversation?
I think it looks bad on. I mean, this looks terrible. It looks absolutely awful. John Talty seems to be going on like a firestorm.
Yeah.
Calling out Nate Oates for what he said. Just being like you said, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it doesn't seem like being in the wrong place at the wrong time if you have the verbiage of saying that you're bringing the gun, knowing pre-well, which would be premeditated, obviously, and you obviously have an intent to go and do that or bring a gun to cause. Here's the thing: a lot of times too, is like a lot of times when people kill somebody, or a lot of people when they assault somebody,
yeah,
they don't intend to do it. Like they always say that, right? Mm-hmm. Or like when someone someone always got caught on like To Catch a Predator or whatever, they were like, I didn't mean to talk to that little kid or whatever. Yeah. They didn't mean to do this. Like they literally meant to do it, and it's premeditated. That's a lot of times you hear that word, and it's like you can get in trouble for that because even if you don't do it, but you think about do it, write it down, text message it. Especially nowadays, you text message it, let alone just voice chat it. Whatever you do.
It's out there.
I mean, you're going to get caught for it, yeah. And if it's your gun, like that was the whole thing. You're talking about what's the difference? If he said the gun's there, so that's then it's in itself bad.
Yeah.
Which you could get charged not only with. I wouldn't say you would get charged with murder. You'd probably get charged with something else, or like you second degree or something like a different degree.
Accessory to murder.
Yeah, accessory. Yeah, or like it would be to the point where like he would have had to have been like physically been like, yeah, I'm getting. He'd have to confess too to be like, yeah, I gave him the gun. I mean, Brandon Miller would have to say, hey, yeah, I gave him the gun for this intent. But because it looks really bad, it's really hard to kind of like put blame on him. Even though, other than like you said, if he'd said that, the heat is in the hopper or whatever he said, the hatch or whatever.
Yeah, the heat is in the hatch.
I've heard that. I've never heard heat is in the hatch, but heat is in the hopper. I've heard that one before. But like, literally, like. That's intent.
Yeah.
That is intent in itself. And it could get really bad for Brandon Miller. Luckily, he's only got a month left in the SEC schedule, or less than a month in the SEC schedule.
Well, that's lucky for Alabama fans who actually want to see Alabama win.
But, like, it's really bad when it at the end of the day because, like you said, like, he may not have pulled the trigger. Like you said, it doesn't matter whether you told, like, your situation that you're talking about with a friend and going to like somewhere and he goes and kills somebody, that is a completely different situation. You would have to go physically or verbally or whatever, text it out, whatever. You would have to say, hey buddy, here's the gun. Hope you don't do anything stupid today. Or maybe not even that. You would just be like, hey, here's the gun.
But I could say
hope you don't use it on anybody today. You know what I mean? Like, how stupid do you have to sound when you're trying to sound it like that?
It's weird because it could be the similar thing. Okay, it's like, oh, I left the gun for this guy so he can go to a shooting range. So I'm just gonna. And I know this is probably not what was going down. Okay, maybe it was for intimidation reasons. And I know that the person who was involved, the victim overall, wasn't even probably the target in the first place. It was just somebody who was.
Doesn't even mean if it was a target and you were trying to scare the person, that's still assault.
That's
still,
assault, brother. Yes, it is still very much illegal.
So, I mean,
but it's like you think it in a different way. It's like there's so many ways you could look at it to be like, how can I get this guy out of here? How is this guy gonna be super guilty in this situation? Right now, from the looks of it, it is not looking too good, and it's upsetting to see because it doesn't look good for Brandon Miller. It doesn't look good for Darius Miles, of course. It doesn't look good for the entire Alabama basketball team because if 3 of them were in this vehicle while this was all going down, that is a large amount of the team.
And they said, I saw in the article, they said Jaden Bradley was also on the scene, so he was in the area, or he was like in that area, same area as everybody else. So. You got 4 basketball players right there. You got John Talty trying to burn bridges with Nate Oates, with what he said and the way he said it, and it's just a bad look. And it's just, I have a feeling that hopefully, if anyone's actually listening when it comes to like political or, if it comes to like this is sports. This has nothing to do with gun. This has nothing to do with gun laws. This has nothing to do with owning a firearm. I bet you Brandon Miller. I don't know if he has. You don't have to have concealed carry, but I don't know if he has that or if you're. I mean, he can still own a weapon in this country. Yeah. It's not saying that he can't. So I hope a lot of people don't look into this and go, "Well, Brandon Miller shouldn't have had a gun." And it's like, well, Alabama laws are this, and it's going to go down a bigger rabbit hole because of who Brandon Miller is, because of the state it's in, and because of what the situation it was. And it's going to look really bad, and it's going to be another black mark on their season. And if Bama just kind of just poops the bed, the rest of the way forward, it's going to look really bad when it's like, man, this team it's like, what if, basically? Because this is comparable to last year's Auburn team, which last year's Auburn team probably didn't do as, I would think they would have gone further, but they didn't do as what they were ranked.
Well, and I was about to say, that's why I really stopped, like, just talking about politics in general. Just go down that giant rabbit hole. Just it keeps going further. Yeah. And then you ask for Nate Oates' response, and if you're expecting some kind of, like insightful answer that goes into gun violence.
He's a coach.
And goes into death. No, he's a coach.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear Steve Kerr talk about it. Nobody wants to hear Nate Oates talk about it. I get it. It's a situation with his own player.
Does his response look bad, like at face value?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a coach. He's not. What do you expect?
But I don't want him to come up with something because that's not what he's paid for.
Whatever information you're going to get from him is not going to matter at the end of the day. Okay,
he probably already knew all that information when all the stuff started.
He can be upset with his players and all that stuff. It's not going to change anything. It's whether it comes down to, is this illegal for this guy to do this or not, or is he going to get charged before the season ends or after the season ends? How is this going to affect his NBA capital that he's going to be going into soon? There's a lot of other things to even take into accountability because this kid could be in jail by the end of the year. And I don't want to say it because I know, obviously we don't want to say that. But we don't know exactly the full picture of the story, and you can't just be assuming all these different things.
Well, it's like in the NFL. Alvin Kamara, during the All-Star game last year, got accused of beating up a man or jumping a man or whatever, assaulting a man. Yeah. And then they were like, is he going to be suspended for 6 games this year, or is he going to play the whole season? Got to play the entire season, just got indicted for assaulting the man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you have a whole other situation where it's just like, dude, like, even for college basketball, NFL, whatever it is, get it right. When it comes to assault, killing, being involved in a lot of this situation, like, they should get longer than 4 games. You know what I mean? Like, domestic violence in the NFL is laughed at. It's just sad.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting to see it happen nonstop. And there's
Calvin Ridley got suspended for a whole year.
For gambling? Yeah. Well, He did, cheat on the NFL technically. So he did sign a contract that says not to do that. But it also
the integrity. Can't mess with the integrity, but you can.
It's all right to do all the other things.
You can beat some women in a hotel.
But you can't gamble.
Nope, you can't.
Can't gamble.
You can't ruin the integrity. Well,
or you can't smoke a little,
Definitely, no.
Of the
devil's lettuce. The devil's
lettuce.
Should we just let professional athletes be able to bet on their own team?
No,
you can't do that.
I don't think so. I just think you should leave it out of it.
But could you put a hard limit on it, like how much?
Nah, not even that. I don't even think you should put that because I would, in my eyes, I would think that you're maybe always throwing the game.
Yeah, I would say
I just think you might
if you could only bet on your own team.
No, because I would want to bet outside my team. Like I would want to, because like if I'm in the NBA, like I would want to bet on other teams, like because it would be more make it more competitive or whatever. Or if I was in the NBA, like I would want to be able to bet on the NFL and have no issues, or without any problems, without being anything like that.
Yeah, if you're a betting man in sports and you don't just bet on a different league. Like you can do that, you don't have to bet. Like now we have the XFL and everything. Thank you very much, Chad. That was
bet on the XFL.
Great conversation from Chad. Great insight. And you know what? We were able to kind of enhance the argument a little bit more because I mean everybody was helping out with everybody. I was kind of just sitting and watching you guys talk about it, but it was good. I mean you were throwing in stuff. Chad was throwing in a lot of information, and now it's really just gonna come down to time. Okay, I really and how it's gonna affect these players going into these upcoming games to finish out the season, because we're going into March Madness soon, and we're going to be talking with James Benedetto on this whole situation to see what he's got to say in it, because I know this guy probably has more information than all of us combined, so he's going to be throwing in all that stuff at 3:30 later on. But let's move on a little bit to what the Cleveland Browns are up to, because they have fired, okay, and I know this is a quick one. You're going to talk to me like, hey, you just wanted to talk about the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, that's one thing.
I mean, to be fair, I do that same thing when I talk about Utah. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, but the Cleveland Browns let go special teams coordinator Mike Prefer, and you guys probably thinking, okay, again, it's a special teams guy. Why would we care? Well, this special teams guy led the Cleveland Browns to beating the Steelers back in 2020 in their first playoff win in 28 years, okay? 28 years, since 1994. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban were the coaches of this team back then, okay? Yeah, think about that, Benny. I haven't got to see a Cleveland Browns win the playoff game all my life until that day, okay? Very happy about it. That day, our coach, Kevin Stefanski, had the COVID, and he can't communicate outside of the stadium, so it was really just all up to Mike Prefer, but he is on his way out, as the Cleveland Browns stated, and doesn't really matter because they're already looking for a new one, all right? And they're looking for a new one in, I think it was the Colts organization. It's a Bubba Ventrone, okay? So that's going to be interesting to see what he can do with this team on the offensive or the special teams front. Not going to change too much, I don't think. We don't have Josh Cribbs, so he can't be like the guy that does it every single time. But I don't know. If we have to have a backup coach, I got to say I'm a little upset that it's not going to be Prefer, because I feel like Kevin Stefanski and the rest of this team were probably just like, maybe all the coaches were like, well, we don't want this guy to be the coach because we know he can actually win some football games, so let's get rid of him now so he can't replace me. Because Kevin Stefanski's also on thin ice. If he doesn't have a good season next season, then he's going to be out of the Cleveland Browns organization. We're going to be on to our next coach, okay? We're going to be looking for somebody else to try and lead this team, because you know what? With the talent that we have on this squad, we should not be losing as many games as we are, okay? And I know we had a pretty good year, but it wasn't that good. In Browns, time, it was a pretty good year, though. And then moving over to NFL free agents, we got a plethora of them we got to talk about. And one of them still being Lamar Jackson, because going into this offseason, if the Ravens don't pick him up, who the heck's going to pick this guy up?
I mean, I see plenty of teams going after Lamar Jackson.
He's prime. He's a prime quarterback. He's only 26 years old. This guy is the quarterback you want on your team right now, even though
A little bit injury prone.
I wouldn't even say that. I mean,
he gets banged up.
He gets banged up, but that's because he's got to get banged up, because he's running all the time, all right? And that's the type of quarterback that you want. You want a guy that's a little selfless. He goes out there. He looks like Steve Air McNair, sacrificing his body for the end zone. And, I mean, you love to see it out of a quarterback like him, especially at his age. But will the Ravens make the right decision and pick this guy up? Because I don't think they're going to find a better quarterback than him. Definitely not in this draft. And you know what? You know what they're saying, Bandy?
What are they saying?
They're saying Anthony Richardson could go first in the 2023 draft. Yeah. If the Colts pick up that first-round pick, that first draft pick spot, they might go with Anthony Richardson, of all people.
Why?
What are you doing? The experts say some things. Me and Bandy say a totally different thing, okay? Sophomore, out of college, coming into the NFL, did not look too good in his 2022 season with the Gators. I don't understand it. This kid's going to be a project for your team for probably 2 or 3 more years, okay? You're not going to see him actually performing for the squad for a while now. You could throw him in. You could force him to play football, but he's not going to play good football unless he gets those reps to be that quarterback that he needs to be. He's not going to instantly be that guy. He needs a year worth of reps to get where he needs to get, okay?
Very true.
Give him like 2 preseasons, and then he'll be back to where he needs to be in the NFL. But he could hardly perform on the NCAA level, let alone the NFL. Don't want to talk poorly about the kid because I said he was going to be a Heisman candidate, but you know what? He did not. He was going to be the dark horse, but he's not. It's very upsetting to see. Another quarterback that is going into the free agency is Geno Smith. I think that Seahawks will probably pick him up as well. I don't think they're going to let him go. He's 32 years old. He's getting up there in age, but still, this guy knows how to perform. But you know what? He had the best season of his damn life with the Seahawks last year. Okay, went to the playoffs and everything. He could have even went far if his team wasn't so banged up. But you know, that's just how it is going on. And then Tom Brady's he's not even a freaking free agent. He's gone. He's gone. He's out of here, guys. Saquon Barkley, though, will be a free agent at the age of 26 as well. Bandi, you got any nice little spots you wanna play Saquon Barkley moving forward?
Wait, Saquon Barkley.
He was a good. He played pretty good for the Giants last season. Okay, he's got the quads for days. He made the Pro Bowl. He's moving on. Where do you think he's gonna sit? Do you think the Giants might just pick him up again, or do you think he's gonna be finding a new team, maybe out west?
I mean, I could see him moving out.
But
the Giants, they rely on him too much.
They rely on him a lot. And you know who else is on free agent? Daniel Jones. So are we going to see a total flip-flop in the NFL with the New York Giants, or are we going to see them pick up one of these two and then try to build around them, okay?
I mean, it's kind of more like if you're looking at it from the Giants, who do you value more on offense, or who do you want to build around? Do you want to go with Daniel Jones and try to prop him up as high as possible and support him, or do you want to go with what you've been doing the last couple of years and going hard on the ground game with Saquon?
It's an interesting thing to see because it's like with the Titans, who would you pick, Derrick Henry or Ryan Tannehill? Of course, Derrick Henry every single day. But it's a little bit closer because you still see slivers of talent coming out of Daniel Jones. The kid's super fast, too. I mean, if you didn't see, but he tripped on that one play. He went like 23 miles an hour. But, I mean, Saquon Barkley's been injured nonstop throughout his career. It's like he also has – when he's playing amazing, okay? He doesn't have that potential because he's already there. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, he needs to still get to that point. So, at the end of the day, who are you going to pick up to be that person, okay? A Daniel Jones who might be, one day, a great quarterback for this team, or a Saquon Barkley who is going to be a good running back when he's not injured. Or pick them up both. I don't know if that's even a possibility for this team with the salary cap they got going on, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could, why not? But at the same time, you got a lot of new quarterbacks, a lot of new talent coming into the NFL. Pick up somebody new, or wait until next year to get somebody different.
He's got a lot of high value targets on the free agency list going.
Oh yeah.
Going for the NFL. So it's not only going to be an interesting draft, but an interesting offseason as well.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he's going where? We could see a lot of very key switch-ups this year if things just go absolutely off the rails.
Exactly. I mean, Josh Jacobs.
And maybe the NFC South champion will finally have more than 10 wins.
Exactly. I mean, Josh Jacobs, also Tony Pollard, all of these other running backs as well are going to be on the free agency list. So
Tony Pollard will be a really good pickup if someone just kind of sneakily gets him away.
I know, and it's going to be so bad to see the Cowboys dropping him for Ezekiel Elliott. I think Elliott's a great running back, but I mean, Tony Pollard, he really showed his stuff, all right? Maybe he's a one-hit wonder, but you know what? He's good.
But do you feel bad if any misfortune comes to the Cowboys' way?
No.
Honestly,
not really.
yeah.
Not really.
Does anyone?
They got the Renegades. Let's go.
They'll always have Cowboy Nation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, they got the Houston Roughnecks and the Arlington Renegades. So.
And they got the Texans.
We're going to hop into a break, everybody. When we come back, we're going to finish out the first hour and preview the second, because when we get back, it's about to get real fun here on the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Hour number 1 here on a tipsy Tuesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi man, Bailey Lowry. Yo, he said that. Yeah, he said that. Make sure you guys find us on the Twitter sphere at the Blitz_sports, where we post polls, we post comments and all that great stuff. We'll get back to all of the comments you guys have, and we post a little bit of behind the scenes as well. You know, you'll be able to see a little bit of what's going on here in the studio. But yeah, we're gonna get into some of the conversations later in the second hour. But make sure you guys do remember that this hour has been presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. I was sitting very comfortably in my house last night because it was raining, and I didn't have to worry a little bit about any rain getting inside of my house because I had a Fleming roof atop my head. Yes, it's spectacular. Though I did wash my car just the other day, and I'm very upset that that's now a little bit dirtier. But it's totally fine. But we're going to hop into a break, guys, because when we come back, the second hour of the Afternoon Blitz is coming at you. We're going to have one Mr. James Benedetto on with us from AL.com, and he'll be talking Alabama basketball. So don't go anywhere, because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Okay, Sarah, I'm dropping you at Emily's, and Josh, you're going to soccer, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and by the way, when I pick you up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, me and my short shorts doing my daddy dance. Your friends will love it.
No!
Well, I might change my mind if you buckle your seatbelts.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Whatever it takes, keep them safe. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. The Blitz has been called. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for The Blitz.
That man is playing Gallagher. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Second hour here in No Man's Land on a tipsy Tuesday. Welcome everybody back into the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Yep.
And you guys can find us on the Twitter sphere at the Blitz_sports, as well as the Twitch and YouTube at WZZN-TV. And make sure you got both of the the 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as the Blitz Sports Radio app, because tonight on the app we'll have the UNA baseball team going up against Auburn baseball, and it's going to be at the Toyota Field, and that will be a fun one. I'll tell you that much. Last year I was at it, and it was Auburn versus Tennessee Tech, and it was a heck of a game, and it was great to see just all of the Auburn fans out there, even though I'm an Alabama fan, but it was great to see them get their hopes up because they thought they were going to win, and then they inevitably did win, but it was a lot closer than they thought it would be. But either way, we're going to get a little bit more into that later on in the show. And also, this second hour is presented by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place for the best prices. I don't know if you were even queued up over there, Bandi, but it's okay. Make sure you guys drive home in a brand new 2023 Bronco, Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you, from the F-150 to the Maverick to the always reliable Ranger. Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys, so find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Now, on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, a guy that does a great job covering all things Alabama. That's one Mr. James Benedetto from Tide Illustrated. James, how are you doing today?
I'm great, guys. How are we doing?
We're doing all right. A little confused though on the whole situation that's going down in the whole case that is now including Brandon Miller a little bit more, freshman basketball player from Alabama. Can you kind of give us a little bit more insight on this, because we only know what we've kind of seen on the surface of this story?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of all we have too. Obviously, today. Miles and his friend Davis, I think, were in court today for bond. Understanding with capital murder, you're not really given a bond, so they're trying to figure out all the details of this case. Obviously, with Brandon Miller's name getting involved, it becomes national news very quickly.
Of course.
Obviously, I don't really want to get into too many details of it, just because it's everything that's kind of out there is what we already know. But yeah, it's just a confusing situation with Alabama looking to travel to Columbia tomorrow. It's kind of a crazy day for everybody right now.
Exactly, and I don't want to get too much into it, of course, but I know this will probably play a little bit of a role in the players' heads, just because it's on their mind. It's something you don't want to see happen, especially because nobody truly knows the full story until it's all out there. But now we can kind of go over to the good news, which is Alabama absolutely obliterating Georgia, and it's always nice to see, because Georgia may be ruling on the football field, but maybe not on the basketball court anytime soon. So let's just go over that game, especially after the Tennessee loss on Wednesday, and just how they were able to absolutely rebound like they do, and just the spectacular performance by them.
Yeah, I mean, to give Alabama credit, I mean, they've done this all year long. They lose a game that, whether people think they should lose or shouldn't lose, they always have the correct response. And, to do what they did was incredible. I think I was trying to run the numbers on it. I think they score at least around 30 more points the game following a loss. So really, you're blowing teams out. The team, whoever, unfortunately playing Alabama the next day. The only team that's kept it close was UNC in that quadruple overtime game at the Phil Knight Invitational. Everybody else has lost by double digits, and it's more than 20. You think about the Vanderbilt loss, and you think about now Georgia losing by 40 or more. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how well this team rebounds after facing some adversity. The thing that Nate Oates said, which I thought was kind of funny, was like, hey, maybe we don't have to do this as much anymore. Maybe we don't have to have a loss and then have to have this great rebound that we need to have. But, Alabama's been able to do it all year long, and obviously with March coming a little bit closer every single day, that's one of those things that Alabama's going to need to rely on, especially with going into the SEC championship game and then obviously into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, actually, part of me, just as a Bama fan, is kind of hoping we take maybe a small loss before the tournament starts.
It sucks to say.
So that way we just hit that.
Listen, you are like everybody else,
It's like, can we just maybe take a little bit of an L before the tournament starts, so we can just blaze past the first round, no problem. But going on again, it just seems like on all cylinders, Alabama in that Georgia game just could not miss. I mean, they were shooting absolutely. It just seemed like lights out from the field. I mean, 61% as a team, 47% from 3-point. But the rebounds is really what kept me hooked in this game, is that they were just absolutely bodying Georgia in the glass. And is this going to be really what's going to the key thing that's going to be? Is this going to be the key factor that's going to affect them a lot going into March?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to think about. Charles Bediako only played 17 minutes. Nick Pringle really had the day. I can't even believe it, but if he hits 2 free throws, he ties Brandon Miller for the game high of 21 points. And then he finishes the day with 21 and 10. I mean, he's never had a double-double in an Alabama uniform before, and obviously I know he's probably kicking himself for those 2 missed freebies, but you really look at that. I mean, you want to talk about a blessing in disguise for Alabama. I mean, to have Charles Bediako not at 100% has forced Alabama to really think about its rotation a little bit further, which, again, we all know. We've watched enough college basketball in our day. Depth and being able to rely on the unsung heroes, especially when you get into March, is crucial. I don't know exactly how much of a role Pringle's initial role has grown, I'll say it that way. But listen, if he's any type of contributor for this team going into March, it's going to be huge. Whatever he can do is amazing. I mean, his athleticism is there. He can jump basically out of the building at this rate. But, he's such a huge bench guy for them. So for him to actually find some success, especially this late in the year, is massive, and like I said, the rebounding is great. That's what this team really stakes its identity on is the rebounding. So for them to come out the way they did against Georgia, especially after kind of getting out-muscled against Tennessee, it's good to see.
James Benedetto on with us talking Tide basketball. And looking at that Tennessee game again, I mean, first off, it's great to see Tennessee drop one to Kentucky just a few days after the defeat over Alabama. But at the same time, you want to think, oh, this is poetic, hey, that's great. But then you think, well, this Tennessee team just lost to a little bit worse Kentucky team. Is that, maybe predicting something in the future where Alabama might lose to a team that they probably shouldn't lose to in March Madness? I hate to even think about that right now because we're so early on before we even get there. But is that maybe a little scare going into March Madness? And what really affected Alabama in that Tennessee Volunteers game that gave them that loss?
I think I'm going to disagree with that. I think really what happens here is that the Kentucky win that Alabama had at home means that much more because Kentucky beat Tennessee, but also then they also handled Georgia, who beat Kentucky on the road. So it's kind of interesting, at home. So I think it's kind of like who has beat who recently. Yeah. I think it helped Alabama in terms of the schedule, the strength of schedule stuff, which is always important for seeding and all that jazz. I think Alabama is well aware that they are always going to get the team's best target, especially if you're going to hang around that number one ranking.
Yeah.
I think everyone is very aware of that and is very clear of what the expectation is here. I think really what you're looking at with this team going forward is I think when you look at the SEC championship, I know we talk a lot about the strength of the SEC versus the strength of the Big 12, or even you can start throwing the ACC in there now because they have a couple more teams in the rankings. I think it's really going to show the strength of the conference when you get into that tournament. I just don't know if it's going to happen then, if it's going to happen in March. I don't know. I mean, this team on paper has everything it needs to do to be playing in the Final Four and to be in that conversation for national title contender.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, we've seen a couple different Alabama teams show up this year.
Yeah.
I think really what happened in Tennessee was Tennessee was just more physical. A lot of people complained about the refereeing in that game, and I'm not going to get into that. Listen, I don't know basketball like these guys do, so I'm not going to get into what should have been called, what shouldn't have been called. I think everybody can make their own opinions on that. But I think that the way Tennessee played Alabama as maybe teams like Purdue and teams like Gonzaga, teams like even North Carolina, which Alabama should probably be playing if they beat whoever their first-round matchup is in Birmingham, they're probably looking at that tape and going, okay, if we're going to beat Alabama this time, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to be physical. We're going to have to slow them down. So I think that that's really what you're seeing out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's more of a, it's a bad, technically a bad loss for Tennessee. I mean, that's a tough place to play, and Tennessee's still the number one defense in the country, or is at least in that area. So I think that's really kind of how you look at it. But like I said, I think it just makes the Kentucky win that much better.
Okay. And then kind of looking at today, away from the Alabama schedule, Tennessee is going up against Texas A&M. These are two of the teams that Alabama did not play in conference as of a few days ago, as of Wednesday, when they faced off against Tennessee. But Texas A&M is the lone team that they'll be going up against on the last game of the season that they have yet to play in conference. This game right here is going to be an interesting one, okay? Because right now we got Tennessee, and then we got the next team that might pose the biggest threat to this Alabama squad. What do you see going down at Texas A&M today at 6 p.m., and how can we kind of take what their performance is against Tennessee into the final game of the season against Alabama on March 4th?
Yeah, everyone's going to be watching that one tonight, huh? Sorry, I shouldn't say that. They'll be watching baseball tonight. I know you guys are going to be covering that live, so probably be paying attention to that instead. But Texas A&M, again, a team that's just been pesky all year long. I think they deserved a ranking at least 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think that's at the bare minimum here. They've been good all year long, but they've had some hiccups along the way. They struggled with Arkansas. And I know that really wasn't a game they should have dropped. So I don't really know what kind of A&M team we're going to pick. We're going to see. I think they're very athletic and they're very tough on defense. So I think we're probably going to look at another low-scoring one here between Tennessee and A&M. But like I said, that Tennessee team that showed up in Knoxville against Alabama was probably one of the better teams I've seen all year. if they can play like that consistently, I don't think anyone really can slow them down, and I don't think even A&M could.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that's going to go down. That's on the Tennessee goes on the road for that one, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a big road win that they're going to need. I think they're probably going to have one of their better performances, especially after the Kentucky loss. They need this one too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think we're probably going to get the best Tennessee team, very close to what Alabama saw last week. So I think that's what they're going to be seeing this tonight too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on Texas A&M because it feels like not a lot of people are giving them enough respect. I mean, you're talking about a team sitting at 12-2 in the conference, pretty much in same record as Tennessee overall, but they're not ranked, and Tennessee's sitting at number 11.
Yeah, I don't understand
I don't know why
how you
they're
can win
underselling
12 conference games and not be ranked. That's ridiculous, in my
And
opinion.
And one of the top 2 conferences in college basketball.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's going to be interesting to see, though. And I think the main thing that kind of upset me from that Tennessee loss, obviously, you're going to lose a few games throughout the season. It hurts to see you lose the first game in conference. But the main thing that really just irked me was, they got the win in college football, and now they got the win in basketball. It's like, when's it going to end? We got to wait for baseball now.
And I mean, listen, have you seen that Tennessee team play this year? They might get it in baseball too. I don't know. That team was pretty solid to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, guys. But I think that Ben Joyce guy that still throws 105 still plays for them.
No,
so
actually,
that guy.
Actually, he's actually playing for the local team around here, the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Oh, okay, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
If he was still playing in Tennessee, I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, I personally
that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I personally actually got to watch him play at the Trash Pandas, and he's still throwing 104, around 105, and it is insane. And the sound,
ridiculous.
The sound the glove makes, and I'm just like, how are any of these minor league baseball players supposed to, try and perform against this guy who's throwing things that some MLB pitchers can't even throw?
They must hold their eyelids open with toothpicks or something, because if they blink, it's gone. I mean, and even if they did that, I don't know if they're hitting it either.
No, I couldn't imagine. I remember going up against people who were throwing 50, and I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm out of here, guys.
That's cheddar out there.
I do the same thing. I'm going to go pick up golf.
Good stuff from James Benedetto.
The ball doesn't move in that one.
From Tide Illustrated, talking Alabama basketball. Bandy, you got any Alabama basketball stuff you want to finish off with before we hop into a little bit of football?
Well, it's more just really previewing the South Carolina game because, I mean, I'm kind of expecting, even though it's at South Carolina, I'm expecting the same kind of ball we saw against Georgia. But is there anything on that Gamecock squad that could present a challenge to the Crimson Tide, potentially without Brandon Miller?
Gigi Jackson, he's been their best freshman all year. I know he's had some barbs with his head coach back and forth, and that's a brand new program that's really struggling right now. But I was working in South Carolina before coming back to Tuscaloosa. I actually got to see Gigi play. He's unbelievable. He's kind of that all-around type scorer. He's not as tall as Brandon Miller is, but he's just as athletic and just as dynamic with the ball in his hands. And I think that they're going to rely on him heavily to score points. Obviously we've seen this year that the South Carolina team really does struggle in most of the areas of the game, but if they get that kid the ball, he can score. And I think that really that's where their offense predicates around. So Alabama's going to have to do a good job slowing him down. I don't think that they have the size advantage that, Tennessee did or even Georgia kind of presented at times. I think Alabama's going to be able to beat them up again down low. So I think that's really what it's going to come down to is that can they stop Gigi Jackson and can they just keep their offense running? Because like I said, to shoot the way they did on Saturday was incredible, but everyone knows that they don't get that type of performance every single game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could pare that down, are you still a successful offense? So that's really what Alabama's going to be looking at, especially going into tomorrow.
Good stuff. And I said I was going to talk about football, but honestly, we should go to baseball because you talked on that a little bit earlier. And right now, Alabama is sitting at 3-0, mainly with their only wins against a Richmond team that didn't really stand a chance. But can you kind of give us some insight on this team before they get into conference play later on in the season?
Yeah, I mean, from my limited knowledge of it, like I said, I haven't paid attention to too much just with basketball going on. That's its own beast right now. You know that, guys. So, like I said, I think that the baseball team is going to be pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you got a new influx of talent. Every year I feel like with Bohannon at the helm, it really feels like this team gets a little bit better with its recruiting you're starting to bring in some some young blood. So I think that they're going to be pretty solid. But again, you're looking at a gauntlet of an SEC schedule where you got like Vanderbilt, who is just waiting to play everybody and just blowing everybody out. Tennessee's still going to be good. And I think that you're probably looking at some other great teams. Like I think Missouri right now is ranked, and I know that some other really good teams are there too. So, I don't know. Hopefully Alabama can kind of hang in there. Obviously that's the hope that every year that comes out. But obviously another a weekend with Tennessee and weekend at Vanderbilt is tough to do. So,
of course.
I think they're a pretty solid team. And like I said, not to throw this in late here, but that softball team's doing okay too. Just across the street. So, they're pretty solid as well. With their win against Florida State was huge, and UCF, two ranked opponents that they needed to have. So, really a loss against UCLA isn't that bad, thinking about how deep their lineup is. So, that softball team's going to be pretty good this spring too.
For sure, and it's great to see any success coming out of the Crimson Tide. And you know what? I'm looking very much forward to watching them live myself whenever they come here to play at Toyota Field on March 28th against Middle Tennessee. Because, hey, those are my two favorite teams from when I was a childhood. I loved Middle Tennessee. I got to go to plenty of football games. And then Alabama has always just been my team when it comes to just like the team, the school, all of that stuff that I wanted to get into. And it's going to be just great to see it all go down at a place that I worked last year, and I might be working a little bit more this year. Who knows?
Oh, there you go.
Either way, great stuff from James Benedetto of Tide Illustrated, who does a great job just talking to Alabama sports with us. James, that's all the time we got for you today. We appreciate you hopping on. Let the people know where they can find you on socials and online.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at James_Benedetto, and then follow us on our website at AlabamaRivals.com. We've got new stuff. Obviously, the Brandon Miller situation is up there right now, but we'll be having some features that come out later this week, and obviously game coverage tomorrow. So just keep us open and maybe favorite us or whatever you got to do to make sure you're getting the news from us. So we'll be having some great content for you guys to read very shortly.
For sure. Thank you very much, James. You have a wonderful rest of the day, and we cannot wait until March.
Yeah, can it be here already? I mean, geez, it's got to get here now, right?
I don't know. Who even cares about the last few days of this dang month? I mean, it's not even a full month.
No, February stinks anyway. Let's just get moving.
They made it the
Winter's
shortest
over.
one.
Come on, guys.
They made it the shortest one for a reason.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it as well. James Benedetto from Tide Illustrated on with us. Good stuff from him always. I got to admit, he's a fun dude. He knows what he's talking about. And you know what? We love talking about Alabama in any regard. So it's wonderful to say.
Oh, 100%.
For sure. But we're going to hop into a break, Bandy Man, because we got an play-by-play to hop into, because all the gaming news that's coming out is coming to you guys as well here on the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com. The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. This week, our zone deal is $50 worth of Cheeseburger Bobby's for half price, just $25. Get yours Friday at 97.7 ESPN.com.
The Stretch Zone, with 2 locations in the Tennessee Valley, will get you ready for whatever spring activities you have planned, from golf to tennis or just to increase your general activity. The Stretch Zone can get you limbered up to feel your best. Plus, you'll be taught the best stretches that you can do on your own in between visits to one of our 2 locations in Hampton Cove and Huntsville or on Balch Road in Madison. Visit StretchZone.com for more information. That's StretchZone.com and be the best of you. Learn more at StretchZone.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio. I am the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry, joined across the glass by Captain Cool John Abraham.
What's up, Bandi?
Not much. You ready to talk some video games?
Of course, Bandi, always.
And this hour brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place
To get the best vehicles.
for the best prices.
Oh, yeah. Drive home in a brand new 2023 Ford Bronco Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you, as well as used vehicles. So it might not even have to be a Ford if that's not your jazz, guys. I understand all cars are a little bit different, so you might want a Toyota, you might want a Chevy, you might want a Honda, you might want a Kia for all we know, but they got it all for you guys at Woody Anderson Ford for great prices. Head on down, check it out, and ask Bobby White, hey, what's the best deal you guys got? And you know what? He'll guide you to that. But Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys. Find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
That's right. Find them out. Check them out. They're beautiful service lanes by White and his crew. Like Captain Cool said, will always take care of you.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it.
And now we're talking about video games because holy moly, the deals that came out today.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo and Call of Duty for the next 10 years?
Let's do it.
How's that even going to work?
I don't know. It's going to look like trash.
We're going to talk about it on the E-Play-by-Play.
Time to catch up on esports with E-Play-by-Play with the Bandi Man.
Yeah, you heard that right, everybody.
Yes.
For the next 10 years, Call of Duty will be coming day one alongside the Xbox, PC, and PlayStation versions for the next 10 years.
It's whack, dude. Remember when it was on Wii?
I do remember when it was on Wii, and it was garbage.
It was terrible.
I remember playing World at War on the Wii because that was the only way I could play it. Because my brother had the Xbox version.
Yeah.
Because he had the Xbox.
That's pretty sad, I gotta admit.
I did get a PlayStation 3 eventually.
Ooh.
With Modern Warfare 2.
Ooh.
And it was fantastic. I never looked back.
For sure. The PlayStation was great to play some Call of Duty on.
But I was so sad because on the Wii, they didn't have the zombies mode. So I was so confused. I grinded through the campaign like all in one day. Like I really want to play some zombies. I'm like, where's the zombies?
That does stink. But how were the controls different? Did you have to use motion controls, or what was it all on
you had
that?
to point at the screen to aim.
Oh, you had to play. You played a day worth of that.
I mean, I was like, God, how old was I?
You probably thought it was the funnest thing ever back then. Okay, you thought it was so cool. All I know is it never looked good, but they just kept throwing them out for the Wii, and they never looked good.
Yeah, I was 11 years old.
Okay, you were.
Yeah, I thought it was the most amazing thing, and I'm like, where's the zombies?
That stinks. Was it a full-priced game on the Wii?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I was too young to know the price.
Yeah, I understand. You don't really know money until you're probably like 15.
But what gets me is that there's no way in any world that the Nintendo Switch is going to be able to run any kind of modern Call of Duty right now.
That's weird.
Like I don't think it would even be able to run Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah, because the game has transcended like what it used to be. Okay, now we have Warzone. We have like several different game modes that take up the entire console's power and stuff like that. Like, how long will it last with this type of game? And how much space will be taken up by this one video game that you might not even play more than just like 4 times?
Because think about it, the biggest game on the Switch is like 14 and a half gigs.
Jeez.
That's like one update for Warzone. That's like one season update.
It really is.
That's one season update alone.
What the heck are they gonna
Let alone
do?
an entire game.
Do you think they're gonna make? How about they make new Call of Duty games just for the Switch? Kind of like how they did for the PS Vita. How they made what was it? Black Ops. What was it called? Something, I don't know.
Black Ops Declassified.
Declassified. Yeah.
Now all of this is assuming any Call of Duty is coming out on the Switch.
Yeah.
But how long has the Switch been out?
Maybe they'll bring the old games in. Maybe that's how they're gonna do it. Do a little virtual console, just have all the old ones. The Switch has been out since 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
So think about it. 6 years ago almost, to the day. I would not be surprised if we see Nintendo go all in on a console now. Because, I mean, what would be the benefit of bringing Call of Duty to a system that couldn't even handle it, even on cloud gaming?
Yeah, no, definitely not on cloud gaming, because multiplayer does not work well with cloud.
No.
Nope.
Let alone trying to run like a super high-powered game on a console that can't handle it.
Well, what do you think that... Okay, so let's now... This poses another question. We can actually get into depth with it. But what do you think Nintendo Switch's main console, like their next big console, would be, and how would it be different? Because that's always how Nintendo's been, is they've always tried to do some crazy, wacky stuff. Even the GameCube was a square. Okay, it had an interesting controller. But then ever since the GameCube, we went on to the Wii. The Wii was something super experimental.
They peaked early.
And then the Wii U was even weirder because it had this huge tablet that was like, it had the 12 Testaments on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that includes Mario and all the other games. And then
now you got the Switch.
And then now you get the Switch, which it broke the internet. Obviously, it's the most interesting of the 3 consoles that are like, the mainstays that we're looking at. How would they do it in the future? Like, how are they going to make that big console that's different from the other ones? Are they going to make this huge box that is Nintendo's like new software, but it uses Joy-Cons, or what are they going to do that's different?
What they do, they go back to just tried and true simple. They bring us the Game Sphere.
Oh, the Game Sphere. Are you talking about the thing from Drake and Josh?
Which was just a parody of the GameCube.
It really was, yeah.
Which is great, but...
And it had that awesome see-through plastic red. Oh my gosh, it looked really cool.
It did look really cool. I wanted a Game Sphere when I was younger. But at the same time, I don't know what they could do to be different while also competing tech-wise with the Series X and the PS5.
Okay.
Because Nintendo's kind of on that weird part of the console cycle, is that they'll always come out kind of like at the midpoint. You know,
Yeah.
like the Series X and the PS5 have been out for a while, and then Nintendo's going to release their new console, and then we're going to have a next generation of Sony and Microsoft, whatever they decide to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
And then like 3 years later, Nintendo's going to come out with a new console of their own.
Yeah. So this poses the question too, because it's like maybe they'd keep the Switch, but they have like this home deck that goes with it for the bigger games. Maybe they have they make it a little bit thicker. The thing you put the Switch on, they make it bigger.
A Switch Plus.
A Switch Plus or something like that. See, we're coming up with something for them now, okay? The guys over at Nintendo can kind of just riff off of this, okay? The Switch Plus, it's a thick base where you can put the Switch in and it'll run the games, but it'll only run the high-powered games whenever you click the Switch in, okay? Yeah. How about that, okay? So now you don't even have to go away from the handheld thing that you're going with. You totally discontinued the 3DS, so you can't bring that back now unless you come back with the 4DS, which would be pretty awesome.
The 40
you smell it too.
God forbid you fall into lava on Minecraft.
But I mean, it poses a good question because like I didn't think about it whenever I first saw they're going to be bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo Switch. They're not going to be able to do that with the games that they got going out right now. They couldn't do it with any of the last 4 games, okay? They might have been able to do it with Infinite Warfare if they were able to scale down on it, but like even that was a very high quality game that they came out with that maybe not was high quality in gameplay.
And even then, would fans want that?
No, nobody would want that. Unless you make a dumbed down version of Call of Duty, for the fans, like the PS Vita one that it flopped. Okay, Declassified flopped. It was just a terrible game overall. I mean, the controls were wonky with it, and the campaign was just full of just cut and paste missions from like every other video game that you'd see. But if they did an interesting version of it, you know that people would be going out to get a Call of Duty for the Switch alone. All right, especially if it was a one-off game.
Now, and I'll say, I want Nintendo to go ahead and make a new console already.
Yeah?
Because I feel like by still using the Switch, you are just shafting these devs.
It's a little bit of limitations.
A lot of limitations. I mean, and God forbid, like, give Pokemon some money. They're the most profitable franchise in the world.
You can make it look like Elden Ring.
There's no way they don't have the budget to make a good game, and yet you're making something that runs like potato on a device that can handle Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but it's insane that it can run Breath of the Wild, too.
Yeah. And Tears of the Kingdom is going to be probably looking even better. It's going to be pushing the boundaries even more.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to see that game come out. But another thing I want to kind of think about moving forward would be, they got the Joy-Cons, okay, for the hand controls. Yeah. Why don't they just get 2 more Joy-Cons could, like, strap around your foot, all right? And now we're talking about fully immersive gameplay right here. Maybe even
full limb tracking.
Maybe even Nintendo VR could come out in the future, and we can see some of that stuff with this big Nintendo Switch Plus, okay?
Okay.
I mean, this isn't too far-fetched. We could see this tomorrow, and I'd be like, all right.
Well, Nintendo VR actually is not far-fetched at all. We could see that probably definitely sooner rather than later.
Do you remember when they...
There's no way they don't dip their toes in the VR market, especially with Microsoft and Sony also just going all in on it. I mean, PlayStation's having a whole state of play really highlighting their VR games in 2 days.
Which they need to. They really need to because people aren't going to buy that VR set. No, they're not going to unless you show them why you need to buy it.
And I guarantee you one of those reasons is going to be Resident Evil Village VR.
Yeah, the Horizon game as well. VR.
I've heard middling things about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's all right.
It's all right. Well,
good environments, good water.
I mean, if that's the case, some people like the series enough to just walk around, but
5
still.
out of 10, too much water.
Ooh, too much water?
Too much water.
What is this, Way of the Water? Avatar?
No, it's Pokemon Emerald. That was a real review, by the way.
Too much water.
Yeah, no, there was a whole review when those Pokemon games come out, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, when they remade those two Gen 3 games. Someone at IGN docked down points for it because there was, quote, too much water.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Did you follow the story? It is about a incredibly mad land creature and an incredibly mad water creature just having beef with each other.
Exactly.
And then a green sky dragon comes in and solves it all.
It's like, it's like a bald eagle that just comes with a whole body. By the way, I saw a bald eagle the other day, yet again. Yeah, it's not really too surprising where I live. I see him quite a bit, but I was walking down the road with my brother, and I saw my brother-in-law looking up at the sky, filming this bird. I was like, hey, it's a bald eagle. It's pretty cool.
Bird up.
And then I came to this conclusion, okay? And this kind of reminds me of something that would happen in, like, Guilty Gear Strive type lore, all right? What if bald eagles, all right? Because it was circling the house, all right? Yeah. What if bald eagles were literally called from the president to go to these places, circle these areas, and then a huge laser just comes in between them? I was thinking that'd be a sick thing to throw into a game. I feel like Gold Lewis would probably use that in that game. Okay.
Really feeding in that the birds are a government created kind of theory.
Exactly.
Right?
It makes sense too in Guilty Gear Strive because the bald eagle's like the main thing to it.
Yeah, just the birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. They're robots. And this one's the American robot that literally will drop a laser on top of you from a. It's not true, guys. Okay, take it easy. This is just me throwing it out there. From a satellite in the sky, though. Okay, that'd be pretty cool in a book.
Yeah, but especially with the news. Well, kind of moving back on to Nintendo, but
yeah,
especially with the news that they're probably not going to be at E3 this year, if there even is an E3.
Mm-hmm.
What do you even show off? Like, as developers, you can't be happy at Nintendo, I feel like, for having to continue to make games for the Switch because of how underpowered it is compared to everything else on the market right now.
Yeah.
It's not even close to competing with PC.
No.
And Xbox and Sony are blowing it out of the water right now.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like the Switch is still very successful. Yeah, they very much can. I mean, we've seen ARMS looked really good whenever that came out, and that was whenever the Switch first came out in the first place.
Yeah.
But
Breath of the Wild was a launch title.
Breath of the Wild also looked amazing on both the Wii U and the Switch. Less on the Wii U, but still, it came out on the Wii U. It still looked good. But it's like, I mean, they've tried to do so many different gimmicks, and like that's the reason it's stayed alive so long. Is the gimmicks of the Joy-Cons, the gimmicks of like it's mainly just you get Mario, you get the main games that we know and love. Obviously, we just got the Metroid game as well, which really helps out because that's a franchise that was dying in the water. But now we're thinking, like, what else could they do? They already tried to do that little cardboard thing. Remember, they had the cardboard, like, games you could play? You make the cardboard set.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Holy crap. That
Nintendo Labo or something?
Yeah, that's actually what it was.
That was just cardboard, like $150 cardboard?
I felt like that was back in 2014. It's crazy to think that was around during the Switch's lifespan, but that's insane.
That was during COVID.
I can't believe. Yeah, it was.
Good way to keep people occupied, I guess.
I guess.
Except doing everything but playing the Switch.
I know. I'd get the Lego instead.
I would too.
I'd get some Legos. Just build some Lego sets. That's exactly what I did during the COVID.
And what gets me is that Nintendo is also home to some really interesting franchises where they only release on Switch. I mean, again, you got Pokemon, you got Mario, you got Zelda, you got all that. But again, it's kind of like the same argument that if I hear people buy the new consoles like Xbox and PlayStation just to play NBA Madden and 2K, like NBA 2K, Madden, and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Expand your horizons.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing just Mario.
Yeah.
Stop playing just Splatoon. Play Xenoblade.
And they are unique games in their own way for not playing that type of stuff. Like if you're just playing
Cuphead.
If you're playing Call of Duty all the time and you're playing Madden all the time, like yeah, they're fun games. Madden a little less nowadays, but Call of Duty.
Oh, we need to get into Madden.
Oh, we're gonna get into Madden here in a second. But Call of Duty is one of those games where it's like I'm fine with you if you play Call of Duty nonstop. It's a solid first-person shooter. It's got its own little problems, but that's totally fine because the gameplay itself is solid. It's stable.
I used to be the same way.
Exactly.
We just had better games back then to do it with.
Yeah, I occasionally am like that too. I mean, I played nonstop Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 when it came out. I'm level 250 something now, and I kind of stopped, but still, it was the game I like to play. I kind of now am broadening my horizons because of the YouTube channel I got going on, which helps me out to find new games, to play these indie games, and just like play all the way through it. And it gives me a reason. And I'm finding games that I'm like, this game's awesome. This might be one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, Game Pass is really helping with that too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kind of throwing out. I've gone actually sometimes where I just didn't know what to play, so I just hop on Game Pass and just throw on that option, like let us pick something for you.
Yeah.
And then I install it and see how it is.
Yeah. And
I played Ori and the Blind Forest the other day.
Ooh.
Because of that recommended feature. And the opening in it hit me like a sack of potatoes.
That's awesome.
It hit me in the gut with how sad it is.
That's sweet.
And I'm like, this is 30 minutes. This isn't even 30 minutes in.
Dude, and the cool thing is, too, if you just want to, like, test out games as well, you don't have to download it and wait forever. You can just play cloud gaming. I know it's not amazing. It's not perfect, but still, you get a taste of what you're going to get whenever you do download the game. And a lot of those smaller games, too, they work perfectly.
Yeah, like, if you got a good enough internet connection, and, like, those maybe, like, under 10 gigabyte games, like, it works perfectly fine with cloud gaming.
Yeah, even I was playing when I first got Power Washer Simulator. I was playing that game on the cloud, and it played perfectly fine.
And you know what's also on Game Pass?
What?
Well, for one, Atomic Heart, which you say you're going to be trying out today because it drops today.
Your boy got it downloaded. I'm going to be dropping a video tomorrow about it.
Unfortunately, I've heard some things about it.
What have you heard? Performance issues?
No.
Russians?
We've talked about this game before.
Oh.
We're getting another Forspoken vibe from it.
Oh no, bad. Is it just bad? Like, it's just. Hey, Bandi. Is it bad?
I was
storytelling.
I was under the impression that it'd be a silent protagonist. I saw like 2 clips from the game. I've heard, and the dialogues, it's kind of cringy.
Well, I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 also has really cringy dialogue. Yeah. Maybe they just gotta start going the Link route.
I'm hoping it's not. I'm gonna keep an open mind. I really want to try it too.
All right.
But I'm hoping this. Please don't be Xbox's Forspoken. Please don't be Atomic Heart.
The vibes of it are 10 times better than whatever the other game's even called. I don't even know. What is it called?
Forspoken.
Forspoken, yeah. You even sent it and I forgot about it because it's such a forgettable game. Now, Atomic Heart, on the other hand, it's got the name. You know, it's an interesting name. It's also got sexy robot girls, and you know what? It has the vibe of like BioShock, and that just right down my alley. Bandi, I can say this stuff now, okay?
I know. It's just how confident you're saying it. It's just how confident you're saying it. But also, Madden's on Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
And they said that with Madden 24 being developed right now, because of course it is every year.
Yeah.
But that it's really a do-or-die mentality due to the poor reception of Madden 23.
It's not really a do-or-die.
And one of their focuses was the single-player content. Awesome. Fantastic news.
Bandi, are they updating the franchise mode?
Yes. But guess what their highest priority is, or one of their highest priorities while doing it?
What?
Contract negotiation.
What the hell? I don't even have that on.
Like, if I don't know how to feel about this. Like, how about one of your highest priorities making it actually fleshed out mode?
Yeah.
Like one of the quotes in the article with developers that it was almost there with just a little additions. It needs a lot more.
A lot.
It's an incredibly bare bones mode. You don't have the same. You don't have the storytelling that NBA 2K had with like the Spike Lee stuff they were doing back in the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
Which I mean, those stories are off the wall for 2K. Like your best friend dies in one of them in a car crash. And it turns out he was a drug dealer. I'm like, this is 2K.
A little crazy, but it fits.
I just got drafted and you're telling me this news. Then I saw directed by Spike Lee. I'm like, this makes a lot more sense. This is his style, right? 100%. But, and then also FIFA had a mode like that where you were like going up against a rival and he was like one of the biggest pains in the butt I've ever seen in a sports game.
Mm-hmm.
But Madden doesn't really have that. Like, you got to have a good franchise mode, a good story to drive it, as well as, I mean, again, contract negotiation, free agency deals, like all the stuff that would go into what would an NFL player go through on a day-to-day life?
Yeah.
Like, try to recreate that as authentically as possible.
Yeah.
While also giving a lot of freedom to the player. You don't have that in Madden. You get drafted by a team, you create your player, you create a name, you create what he looks like with the same 10 faces every year.
I know, dude. It's so annoying. And
they
you know what?
never change.
Bandi, you know what you can't do still on that game?
What?
Create your own team? You couldn't do that since 2013. 2013, you couldn't even do it. It's insane how long we've gone without it, all right? And there's other things that you can add in that would spice it up a little bit because they're going into this game. They already have a lot of these assets. They're just going to put right back in it. Why not do what 2K did back in 2005? Add your own crib. You could get collectibles within the game. It's simple stuff like that that would keep me coming back every single year.
Exactly. Like, again, what was wrong with the old games where, again, you would have, like, you would go into your crib, you'd be walking around an apartment, and then guess what? As you win Rookie of the Year, MVP, all of them on the wall.
Who we got on the line? I'm going to keep going then, whatever. But still, Madden is one of those things that needs to be fixed. I mean, if their highest priority is contract stuff, do you guys even use the contracts? 256-576-4977 is the number to call in, guys, because I don't worry about any of that stuff, and that's if you're even playing just like the franchise mode nowadays, because a lot of people are going to these other game modes and stuff like this. It's just ridiculous to see that their highest priority is going to be contracts. I had the college football back. I loved that experience. I played a lot of the 2019 game when they first added it in. It was so fun. I played for Texas. It was Texas Tech, and it was just a great experience overall. Bandi, we got somebody on the line. Who do we got on the line?
We got Brandon on the line joining the afternoon blitz. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, y'all?
Just talking about Madden, being a little upset about it. What's up with you?
I need them to come out with the UFC game. With that new slap league they got.
Oh, no.
When you slap people.
the power slap game.
Oh my gosh.
And then you could put faces on it. I mean, like for instance, like Drew.
Oh yeah.
He would put Biden's face on. Not trying to get political, but you could put anybody's face on it you wanted to.
Exactly.
We
Like Celebrity Deathmatch.
We never be able to get him back into the studio if we gave him a game like that.
Dude, that actually would be very fun though. Is being able to like do the EA thing where you can scan your face onto the slappers. But then how would the gameplay work? Here, give us a quick little. How would the gameplay work? You press A like at a perfect time. Like what would you do? Maybe it's like kicking in Madden or something.
Yeah, you know how the little thing would swing back and forth.
Yeah.
You got to hit it to see how much power you put behind it, but you got to aim it as well.
Oh my gosh.
And then every now and then, like the one where the guy slapped Jesus, hit the one dude, he knocked him out, and his coach said, "Well, hold on, he's gonna get up," and the guy said, "No, dog, he pissed his pants. I'm pretty sure he's done." I mean, that would be some funny stuff to have in there as well, some commentary in the background.
Put in this is throwing me back, but put in like a super ragdoll mode.
Oh.
Just where like when someone gets slapped really hard, like completely unrealistic, just goes flying off the stage.
Into the crowd.
Just bouncing along the walls, ragdolling everywhere.
Like the first guy that you would hit with the star on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yes.
He would go left, he would go right, then he would go left again, and he would fall down. Like, something real dramatic like that.
You get like the clean hit. It's like the X-ray from Mortal Kombat.
He just slices them in half. Oh, that'd be a Go ahead.
That'd be a great game. Then have somebody in the crowd stand up, some toothless woman, finish him.
That is not a bad idea at all. I feel like it definitely have to be rated M, but you know what? I would gladly get it for maybe even like $20. I mean, a quick little entry to the league, if that's even what it's going to be in the future, because it might get canceled before all that stuff. But hey, people are enjoying it, people are hating it, so that brings people either way.
I love it. I've been watching a bunch of it, and I see some of these people, and I'm like, okay, you get $10,000 to win this, and some of these guys have got $80,000 worth of medical bills.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth like the kind of injuries they're taking. I see some of these after photos, like before and after of some of these fighters. It's crazy. Like I thought I saw some of the worst of the worst with some of these UFC fights, but not Power Slap's taking it.
Oh no, I've seen some of these guys that look like Joe Louis when he fought Ali, Thrilla in Manila 3 Warrior. I mean, his eyes were so swollen up he looked like E.T.
You never want to look like that.
It's like watching a car crash. You just kind of peek out of the corner of your eye and you're like, God, this is bad, but you can't look away from it. But I think that would be a rampaging game, especially like if you could play it like P2P with people
Heck
on
yeah.
the internet and play live. Oh God, the trash talk that would go on in a game like that. It would be.
They should make a collection of just like the weirdest fighting games, because there's also this car wrestling league that's going down in Russia.
You just gave me my top 10 list for Friday.
What, weird sports?
Weirdest fighting games.
Okay, all right, great. Either way, thank you very much, Brandon. I can't wait to hear from you again. That's a great idea. We should make that a thing. Let's start calling our guys that know what to do with it. Brandon, you still there?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Of course, we got to get you in that. Okay. We're going to hop into a break, guys. When we come back, we're going to close out the show, maybe talk about a little bit more, video games we could come up with in the future. Either way, don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seed, managing partner of University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Crimson Tide football. Stop in the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com for all our great offers. And get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today. Because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. The Blitz has been called.
Final segment here in no man's land. Welcome back, everybody, to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Yep.
Why'd you turn that music up just then? You trying to interrupt me? You trying to blow up my eardrums?
Potentially.
Either way, it's been a fun episode of the Afternoon Blitz here today. We've had one Mr. James Benedetto from Tide Illustrated on, talking to all things Alabama, Alabama basketball, Alabama baseball. We didn't get into Alabama football. That's totally fine because that's a little ways off, but we should get into a lot more fun stuff as the March Madness begins with him. But to make sure you guys do know before we get out of here that this hour has been presented by the wonderful people over at Woody Anderson Ford, the best place to get the best vehicles for the best prices. Oh yeah, drive home in a brand new 2023 Ford Bronco. You can drive it like OJ. I mean, I needed to say it once. Okay, you can also drive home in a Mustang, a beautiful Mustang, or you can drive home in a brand new F-150 Maverick or a Ford Ranger. They're always so reliable, guys. Head on down, talk with Bobby White and his crew, and they will get you guys hooked up for the road ahead. Find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. But I mean, seriously though, those Broncos can go. They can get it. They can get it. And we saw that back in the 80s. Either way, guys, had a lot of fun today. We're going to have a lot more fun tomorrow because it's a wacky Wednesday. And you know what? We're going to be talking XFL with one Mr. RJ White out of Sportsline.com. So for me, for the Bandi Man, we'll see you guys in 22 hours. Have a good night.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching,